Group C went from 3 to 2 tonight, and the person that got unmasked, well, I called them from the start. So proud of myself on that one. Let's talk the Masked Singer. Hey everybody, Dan here. Welcome to Dan Reviews It. Welcome to the Masked Singer wrap-up for the week, the guest video. And a lot of guesswork, I think, still needs to be done, to be honest, with Group C. There's only 2 left, and they will be going into the Super 6, which I guess will be performing next week. But the person that got sent home tonight, that got unmasked, is somebody that I had pegged from the very first week Group C sang, so little pat on the back for myself. We'll get to that. But first, we've got some other things to deal with. We're going to go through the whole show. But before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love to have you aboard. And if you like my videos, go ahead and give me a like down there as well. It does help the channel out. But look, most importantly for my Masked Singer videos is the comments. I love interacting with you guys over the comments week after week, and some of you are super sleuths. I think I can piece together some things, but you guys definitely fill me in on other things and steer me one direction or the other, and you've actually convinced me of one person that after this week's clues, I definitely think I'm on board with. However, one of the clues revealed tonight, I think, kind of screws all of our guesses up. We've been going through like maybe 3 or 4 different people for this one character, and I think one of the clues tonight completely destroys all of that. So very curious to hear from you guys in the comments on who that might be now. But let's get to the show in order. So first of all, the guest panelist tonight was Jay Farrow, formerly of SNL. He shows up on television here and there now, but more than anything, I think he's known for his impressions, and he busted out several of those tonight, including Kevin Hart and Will Smith. Always great with impressions, and not so great with the clues because this was his first week, and maybe he hasn't seen some of the other episodes and the other clue packages, so his guesses were not great tonight, but he was at least fun and enjoyable to watch. So first up, they sang a song together. They did I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. So it was Broccoli, Jellyfish, and Mushroom. Those are the 3 that are remaining. And each one, when they first started their solo portion, they had a big neon sign in the back that said some sort of message. So for the Broccoli, it was Toes and Knees. For the Jellyfish, it was Oscar Moment. And for the Mushroom, it was Washington. So those are the 3 clues that we were given. I'm not sure if that really helped us out much at all, but the first one who sang in the actual show was the Jellyfish, and I have so much written down already for the Jellyfish. I had to start a new page in my notebook here, so for this week's clue. So like they've been doing with the clue packages the last couple of weeks, the person who sings is actually not the person we're hearing from. It's a special guest. And so in the Jellyfish's case, we heard from her sister. But first, the Jellyfish did say at the beginning of the clue package as an intro, sort of, that she was nervous at first, but she is a Masked Singer super fan, and she watches it with her sister. So then we hear from the sister, who has like a calculator for a face. It's like an office-themed thing, and we see the numbers 57714 on the calculator. The sister says that Jellyfish is the rebel of their by-the-book family, always eager to challenge herself. We see her filing her nails. We see X's and O's on like a tic-tac-toe board, and then we see a gold stapler. The song was Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. And then after singing, it was a great performance, by the way, and then after singing, we had the game-changing clue. So the producers had each singer bring a turkey because, they knew this would be airing on Thanksgiving. So brought a turkey with a game-changing clue. And the clue for Jellyfish, I don't think is that game-changing. I think we knew this already. But the game-changing clue never performed on a stage quite like this. So, look, I think the panel has been sort of back and forth on a few different things, but I have always been of the mindset that this is an Olympic athlete, and I've been back and forth on a few different ones. I think maybe each week I've done this, I picked a different one for Group C because this is the third time Group C is sang. I think in each of the other weeks I picked a different person, but the panel guesses, well, we had Charlie XCX from, I think, Nicole. Kylie Jenner was talked about by both Robin and Jay Farrow, and then Michaela Maroney, another Olympian, was talked about by Jenny. Jenny's kind of been on the Olympian thing from the start as well, because I think she's the one who said Gabby Douglas on that very first week. And I forget who she said last week. I think it might have been Sophia Richie, so that's not an Olympic person. But, you know, I've been saying different Olympic athletes from the start. But you guys on my comments have really dug deep into the Chloe Kim well. And look, I don't know much about Olympic athletes unless they're like super famous. I had heard the name Chloe Kim before, but I don't know much about her, to be honest. So, you know, I did a little bit of digging when some of these clues came up today. I just sort of looked at the X's and O's. I thought, well, maybe, I don't know, that's something to do with Chloe Kim. And sure enough, she's done 4X games. She's like, you know, competed in 4 different X games. And guess how many X's there were on that X's and O's tic-tac-toe board? There were 4. So I think that's a clue leading to that. So the calculator thing, the 57714, I looked it up as a zip code, and that doesn't really make a ton of sense because the zip code was for South Dakota, which she is not from. But if you flip over, you know how you can spell words sometimes on the calculator. Boobs was always a classic one. But if you flip over the calculator, it spells hills, as in, you know, snowboarding hills, because she is a snowboarder. At this point, I really am convinced this is Chloe Kim. I think you guys have been on to that for a few weeks, some of you, and I am finally on to the Chloe Kim train. I'm actually glad she did not go home tonight. She is actually the first one they announced that will be moving into the Super 6. So I'm glad she gets to live another day, so I can at least say right here and now, I'm changing my guess. I think it is Chloe Kim. So up next was the mushroom. And tonight, the clue package said that the mushroom really wants to have fun on the stage again, and it's good to have fun on the stage again. I don't know whether that means they were pausing their stage work because of COVID, or maybe it's been a while since they performed on this sort of a stage. I don't know. And then the person we heard from was a government agent. I don't know if that was supposed to be a joke or what, but they said it's a real-life government agent. And this person has known Mushroom since high school. He said that Mushroom has always been a go-getter. He had a 4.0 GPA. He was class president. It was like a yearbook theme for this package. And in the corner, he said KIT, which is in typical yearbook speak, keep in touch. But then one of the gals was like, yeah, but it could mean something else, could stand for something else. And then we also saw a bull and as well a boxing ring or wrestling ring. We weren't quite sure, and Robin even said, like, is that boxing or wrestling? There were no people in the ring, so I couldn't tell. I wrote down boxing ring, but when Robin said that, I was like, yeah, I guess it could be a wrestling ring as well. So he sang Unconditionally by Katy Perry. Really going all out with the different song choices. You know, we've heard, you know, both male and female vocals. Or, you know, the original singer was a male or a female for a lot of these. But tonight it was Katy Perry, so very interesting there. So guesses from the panel included Jaden Smith, which was, I think, Robin's been saying Jaden Smith for a while. Tay Diggs from Nicole, I thought that was a very good guess. And The Weeknd from Ken, I don't necessarily hear that in the voice. But the game-changing clue here for Mushroom is the most important one, maybe, that we've gotten all season. And that is that the name that he goes by now is not the name he was given when he was a young sprout. So this person is, you know, not going by his birth name these days, And that rules out quite literally like everybody that we've all been talking about on my comments. I have been saying that I think it's Todrick Hall since week one, but in the comments there's been a lot of talk about Jordan Fisher, and I think, okay, I don't really know much about Jordan Fisher, but from the vocal tone I'm like, okay, I can definitely hear maybe it is Jordan Fisher. And I've been sticking with Todrick, but I've been sort of wavering and saying, like, okay, maybe it is Jordan Fisher. Well, guess what? Both of those guys are going by their birth names. Todrick Hall was born Todrick Hall, and Jordan Fisher was born Jordan Fisher. And even some of the outlier guesses on my comments, Pharrell Williams, well, that's his birth name. Billy Porter, that's his birth name. So now I don't know what to think of the mushroom. I really don't. So I don't know. I guess for now I will go with Nicole's current guess of Taye Diggs. We know Taye Diggs can sing. He's done a lot of work on Broadway. He sang in Will and Grace. The guy can sing, but I'm just not sure this is his tone. I don't know if I recognize the Taye Diggs vocals in this singer. So I don't think it's correct, but my current guess is Taye Diggs. I think Mushroom is the hardest one of the entire season. I really thought my Todrick Hall guess was like pretty good. I thought it was on the money for a lot of the clues. So I'm very, very thrown this week by Mushroom. So the third singer was Broccoli. And he has had so many fans over the years, he says at the beginning of the clue package, but he's going to turn it over to two special ladies that have been with him for most of his career, and they say that he is the greatest showman. They say he is larger than life, so there may be a couple of clues there. We saw a Jason mask. They told a story about how he would sneak into the circus by cutting a hole in the curtain to like watch it. We saw a moose in the package, which Robin immediately picked up on as someone Canadian. We saw some Beatles there, not the band, but actual Beatles, and of course we can associate that with the Beatles, the band. And then he sang "Old Time Rock and Roll" from Bob Seger. The game-changing clue here, which I think was a pretty good clue for some people. He said, "You do not want to put this broccoli in the microwave. He has been around longer than the microwave." And I wasn't sure exactly when the microwave was invented. I was thinking maybe 50s or 60s. Jenny said the 40s, but that completely lined up with my guess for all of that. So Jay thought it was Al Roker. Ken was going with Ringo Starr for the Beatles clue, and Ringo's son is also named Jason. And then for the first time, Paul Anka was bandied about by Robin. I figured if anybody on the panel would really know Paul Anka, it would be Robin. His dad, sort of, I guess, maybe knew him because they're both Canadian. He sort of made a Canadian reference there. But also, Paul Anka worked with the Beatles. Robin pointed out the Frank Sinatra clue in last time Group C sang that package where the number on there is spelled Frank. And Robin said, "Oh, this person wrote My Way," so he was guessing Paul Anka. Okay, so then we get to the voting. Jellyfish in the Super Six immediately, so then Broccoli and Mushroom have to face off against each other. So Broccoli did a song called "Take Me Down" by Alabama, which I'm not familiar with, but boy, I thought that was a great performance, better than the Bob Seger one. And then Mushroom did a "Song for You" by Donny Hathaway. Again, great. I think Mushroom is, one of the best singers, and I honestly think, deserves to be in the Super Six, and that's exactly what happened. So Jellyfish and Mushroom are moving forward. So Broccoli was going to be unmasked, so we got the initial guesses, the first impression guesses from the panel. Nicole's was Bill Murray. None of these actually were crazy. I think based on especially that first week and the clues there, I think these guesses are not terrible. Bill Murray for Nicole. She changed it now this week to Wayne Newton. Ken's original guess was Martin Short, someone he guesses every single season, and hopefully one of these days he will be on, but he changed it to Ringo Starr tonight. Robin, his original guess was Bob Newhart. also not a bad guess, but he changed it to Paul Anka. Jenny thought Jerry Springer originally. That one, not great, but look, Jerry Springer can carry a tune. We've heard him sing before, but she has changed it this week to Neil Sedaka, and Jay thought it was Paul Simon. Again, look, he doesn't know any of the other clues really, so not a horrible guess. Paul Simon's definitely older than the microwave oven. But when the unmasking happened, yes, indeed, I was on this from week one that Group C sang Paul Anka. And, I wasn't sure who on the panel would even know who Paul Anka was, except for maybe Robin. I hoped that Jenny might too, because she's a little bit older. But I really didn't know if Nicole was going to know Paul Anka. I didn't really know if Nick Cannon was going to know Paul Anka that well. But I don't know. They certainly pretended to, if nothing else. But Robin certainly got that it was Paul Anka after tonight's clue package. And like I said, that first week I had merely picked up one thing from the package and Googled it with Paul Anka's name just to see if I was on the right track. Because the voice sounded so familiar, I was like, I really think it's Paul Anka. And so I put in Paul Anka soup can, because there was a soup can in the clue package originally, and he said that a game-changing or a life-changing contest steered him toward his career. And sure enough, he won a Campbell's Soup contest to travel to New York City when he was a teenager, and that is where he sort of fell in love with the idea of show business. So right from that, I was like, okay, that's all. That was enough for me. That's all I needed. And then the clues kept coming. The second clue package was sort of a mobster theme. Frank Sinatra, obviously, with the classic mob ties. And so, I picked out some things from there. And then this week again, the Beatles obviously meant, his work with the Beatles. And he actually helped sort of discover the Beatles in a roundabout way, I guess. So, I am definitely chalking that one up to a win for me. And Paul Anka, man, great to see him. He is a classic singer from back in the day. Really, his time was like the 50s and 60s. But I have to say, of these three, I do think they made the right choice in voting him off. I definitely think the Jellyfish and Mushroom are going to be strong contenders in the Super Six. And Jellyfish, man, it's weird that she's making it so far. Who knew that Chloe Kim, most likely anyway, would be such a great singer? She really, for an Olympic athlete, you don't necessarily think, oh, they'll be great singers too, but she is certainly proving to us that she is. I do think it's Chloe Kim. But yeah, it'll be an interesting Super Six. I think I've got pretty much everybody down except for the Mushroom. Because who else is in there? Seahorse is Tori Kelly. I'm almost positive of that. I've been saying that. Who else do we have here? The Crocodile, that's Nick Carter. I've been mostly on that since the beginning. And then the other two from Group A, I've also been saying since week one. The Sun, Leanne Rimes, and Popcorn, Taylor Dane. I've been saying it since the start. So I really think I'm on most of these. But Mushroom, what do you think? I need some help with the Mushroom because all of our guesses, I think, are off now from who we were thinking. So we'll see. But that will do it for this week. Next week, I guess we will get the Super Six and narrow it down from there. I think once we get in the Super Six, I don't know. They might send two people home next week. I am not sure. Every season, they kind of change it up a little bit. So they may send one home. They may send two. I don't know. And make it a Final Four the week after. But we'll have to watch and see. But thank you for watching, and subscribe below and comment and all that jazz. And I will be speaking with you on the comments for sure. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.